latest episode of Great Job Awesome just dropped this week, and what Patty Seacups decided to do was to review Chad Zumock when he did the roast of Kevin Brennan. Now, we've covered this, obviously, here on Who Are These Podcasts, but I love Patrick Michael. Let's get his take on this roast. Bryan, are you familiar with this?
Yeah.
Okay,
I watched it when you guys did it.
Okay. So, obviously, there's a roast going on in New York. A bunch of New York comics are there. Chad Zumock gets up and bombs miserably, like really bad. So, Patty Seacup starts off by calling out everyone who's at this roast.
It was hosted by Aaron Berg. Okay, Mike Bichetti's there, one of the fucking girls from Two Guys We Fucked or whatever, the guys we hump. Karen Feehan, Barry Ribbs, just a bunch of shitheads. Gino Bisconti, just not good comics. And truth be told, when it came to the roast, Gino Bisconti actually did better by leaps and bounds in comparison to Chad.
All right, that's Patty saying that, not me. I like that that's the insult. You weren't even as funny as Gino Bisconti. What's wrong with you?
Just a bunch of shitheads.
What a bunch of shitheads.
A bunch of shitheads is hysterical.
So he's going to start getting into, he's actually playing his roast. Now, I'm sorry there's not a video component to this. There's no video. It's just Chad's ugly face. So I'm not going to play that part. I'm just going to play the audio for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. But this is pretty funny because when Chad first gets up, he doesn't say anything and he starts getting some laughs. And so Patty's going to explain why that is.
The most laughs he got was when he looked at Kevin. Why was that funny? Because you got to see that Chad's mouth goes directly to his chest. There is no chin. There's no slope whatsoever. It is a single piece of a human being.
I don't know what happened. Somebody made this comment. I forgot where I read it. But like the 10,000 hours thing that Malcolm Gladwell stayed in might be true with Patty Seacups. Like he's figuring it out. I was, for different reasons than usual, very entertained by this episode from Patty Seacups. And for Chad Zumock, this has got to be the lowest.
Eesh.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not good when Patty's dunking on you.
I've seen quite a few people bite off the WATP format.
Sure.
Right? And to different degrees, it annoys me.
Yep.
Patty Seacups going after Chad Zumock gets a full pass.
Yep. I was just going to say full permission. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of those guys who tried to rip us off, Kevin Dumbfuck. We'll be talking about him later. He had an interesting thing happen at DabbleCon that we'll be talking about.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Coming up later.
Yeah, coming up in a little bit. We got some guests on here to talk about what happened at DabbleCon. But before that, let's get back into Patty listening to and watching Chad's roast.
Be sure to check out all his tour dates at rogerpaul.com. I'm playing to the back of the room right now.
So 2 jokes in, and he's playing to the back of the room. Chad, you're not playing to anybody in the room. What are you talking about? Nobody wanted you to be here but Kevin, and he's using you as a fucking joke.
Martin's scoring off me. That is it.
Oh, damn it.
Holy shit.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious. So he picks up on the fact that Chad is very nervous to be at this roast. And actually, his analysis of this is better than mine. I'll be honest with you. This is impressive right here.
Where you can definitely hear that this dude is nervous as all hell. Because the last thing that this guy wants to do is do comedy in front of actual comedians. He can continue to pretend that he's selling out these little clubs that he's doing, and he's doing well at them, and that also might be true, but we know for a fact that Chad is the most uncomfortable when it comes to being criticized by other comedians because he knows he's faking it.
Wow.
Patty.
Wow.
Did you quit smoking dirt weed? Because you are on fucking point, dude.
That's impressive, isn't it?
Yes.
He's right. Chad was nervous to get up there in front of his peers, or what he thinks are his peers.
Right.
Because he's being found out as a phony. Mm-hmm. He's not really a stand-up at all, and everyone knows it. Chad's still pretending that he is, but everyone can see right through it, which is an interesting observation by a guy who lives in Indiana and gets all of his information from YouTube videos. It's impressive. So
it really is. It seems like, yeah, like it's almost, I don't know if I should even say this out loud. It seems like he's taking podcasting more seriously.
I know. He's fucking figured it out. And here's another brilliant observation.
You know it's a shitty roast when Chip Chipperson's your star power. Alec Baldwin had Robert De Niro. We have Barry Ribs. It's a complete shit show. They should call it Firefest Part 2. This day...
See, this is the thing that Chad doesn't even realize, is he's a part of this thing. He's one of these names that got put on here, and they're all shitty. Does Chad think that if they did have bigger names, that somehow he would still be involved?
Oh, my God.
No, Chad. Not for a second. If they got fucking Kevin Hart, Big J. Okerson, Mark Norman, guys like that for this roast, Chad, you wouldn't be there.
Another unbelievable observation that I didn't come up with at the time. No. But yeah, you can't call out when you're like the last guy in on this dais. You were the last guy to get on there, and you're calling out the dais.
He thinks it's deflection, but it's just putting a microscope on him.
Yes. I remember a buddy of mine who I play in bands with he messaged me something. It's just like, everyone we play in bands with is crazy. And I wrote it back. I go, you're not in traffic. You are traffic. Like, you have to remember that, like, we're all a part of this together. So the fact that the Chad's out there going, holy shit, look at all these losers up here. It's like, you're one of them, buddy.
Folks, doesn't this show suck?
Talk about low-hanging fruit.
By the way, that's a new drop that I pulled from this episode. Fucking phenomenal. All right. So, then, and I'm going to give him a pass on this because he did such a good job on this episode, Patty decides to go after me a little bit. He decides to start calling me out just a little bit. And I picked up on it. It's subtle. It's nuanced, but I like it. So, this is where I guess Chad is interacting with Anthony Cumia, and he doesn't make fun of Anthony. He decides to go after Opie instead.
Okay.
And Opie had his friend taken away by the Lord.
Okay, I guess you have to be like 55 to get that joke, right? What's an Opie, Who's his friend? Like I said, Chad's references are only good for somebody who's in their late 40s, early 50s. What's an Anthony Cumia?
All right, I get it. All right. Now that Penny and I are friends, we can bust each other's balls. I'm cool with that. That's all right.
What's an Opie?
What's an Opie? Well played. Well played, sir. All right. So this is another brilliant observation. When Chad's complaining, because he's looking through his sheets of jokes that he wrote.
Yeah.
And he's complaining that, Aaron Berger, he did all his jokes. So that's why he's bombing so bad.
Aaron did like 3 of my jokes. God damn it.
Yeah, here's the thing, too, right there. He says, Aaron did 3 of my jokes because me and Aaron Berg write jokes on the same wavelength. For sure. Just like me and Kevin Hart. Right? It's so hard not to think the same.
That's fucking hilarious. Dude. Right there. He's like, you're not writing jokes as good as Aaron Berg. Right? No one's falling for that.
He's so condescending to him. Like it's just weird that he latched on to Zumock.
It's not, though. This is how bad Chad is at comedy. It's been exposed now. Like, even guys like Patty Seacups go, wow, this guy has no talent whatsoever. It's great.
Damn it. There goes those 3 jokes. But how funny is it when you listen to Chad today and how much he fucking talks shit about Anthony Cumia? But as soon as he has an opportunity right here to essentially make fun of the guy, he bends the knee. Mm-hmm. Which is what Chad would do in front of anybody that he has shit on. He sees him in person, he'll do anything to fucking somehow join your network or become a part of what you're doing because it's clearly more successful than anything he's ever attempted.
Wow.
Oh my God.
I'm speechless.
Hold on a second.
It's like it's a different guy.
It is. Yeah, it is like it's a different guy. A guy who decided to go ahead and listen to WATP. I have a feeling you went, let me listen to this show. It makes fun of me all the time. He went, oh, that's how you do it. Okay. I can do that. And he's killing it.
Again, Chad making jokes to nobody.
Gino Bisconte's here. I think we know that. I'm not telling this one because Soder's not even here. It's not... Soder, okay, I'm going to tell it. Gino and Soder's dad.
Getting nervous, Chad. You already way nervous. Pretty clear. But then stumbling over whether or not telling jokes about people that aren't there makes any sense. Why is that an issue? Hey, I got all these jokes about fucking Steve Irwin, but for some reason couldn't make it. Guess I'll still tell the jokes. For who?
So, again, he brilliantly picks up on the fact that Chad Zumock made 3 jokes about people who were actually there on the dais, and all those other jokes about people who weren't there. And Patty's going, well, you don't use that joke. They're not here. He's like, I wish Dan Soder was here. He's not. Don't use a different joke. He doesn't even have jokes for most of the people who are in the room. And I love the fact that he picks up on how nervous Chad is. Chad's a nervous guy. We've all seen him shaking on screen. And
the breathing.
Yeah, very heavy breathing. I mean, he's out of shape, but that's not the whole story on that one, obviously. So this is another brilliant observation. Chad fancies himself a professional stand-up comedian. He has said many times, look, I'm not a podcaster. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a stand-up. I'm a comic. That's what I'm good at.
And remember, guys, this is the first time that I really ever saw Chad do what should be the easiest form of comedy. Writing roast jokes. You have time to write it, number one. You know what you're roasting. All you have to do is figure out angles to talk shit about it. And here's this guy who considers himself a professional comedian, and he can't do it to any degree.
Yes, he's correct about that. Writing roast jokes is the easiest form of jokes. You just point at someone and go, hey, look at this asshole. I mean, it's, maybe add a punchline, maybe not. I don't know. It's not that difficult.
Check out the big brain on Brad.
And I don't think you're supposed to, like, as a professional comedian, I don't think you're supposed to tell everybody that somebody else did your jokes and damn it, that's why it's going to stink. It's like you're supposed to be like, okay, they used that. Let me write another one. Use that one. Let me write another one. Like on the fly, you're supposed to be able to do it.
Correct. And I remember watching this video. Chad came up with pages and pages of jokes.
Yeah, I remember.
So he filled like 7 minutes. He should have been able to fill 40 minutes. And it's like, all right, we'll cross those out. And I got 35, or whatever. Yeah. But you're exactly right about that, Brian. A pro would never get up there and go, gosh, guys, this would have been funnier, but Dan Soder didn't show up and Aaron did some of my jokes. Yeah. And
these other pages are blank. Table of contents.
Well, I know it's not his will because there are actually a number of pages there. So this is now Patty C-Cups, which, again, brilliant observation. He realizes Chad's not going to get a lot of chances at this. Like, Chad doesn't even live in New York anymore, but at this time he did, and he was invited to be on the Kevin Brennan Roast with all of these working comics. Like, dude, here's your chance to shine, buddy. Be a part of this crew.
And both didn't attend Dan's high school graduation. That would have been great if Dan was here. Artie Lang used to open for Gino. No, I mean, Artie Lang used to have Gino open for Artie. Because he wanted to look like the sober one.
Jesus Christ, Chad. You would think you've made it this far, right? You're halfway there, over halfway there, and now you're losing grasp of the rope. It's sliding away from your fucking greasy, hair-gelled fingers, all right? You gotta grab on as tight as you can, buddy, or you're slipping into the abyss, and you'll never come back from it. And I think that's what happened. He never came back from it. It's pretty clear people were not fans of this guy before. Comedians were not fans of this guy before. And then he goes and he gets an opportunity to do this, and then this is what are we doing?
I think
he's stymied.
I think what Patty's trying to say is, you blew it! Chad, come on, man. That was your fucking chance. You idiot.
I would never want to be dressed down by Patty now.
Oh, God, could you imagine?
I didn't think I gave a shit until today.
I was never nervous about it.
I would be in tears.
Yeah, it's bad.
Now hit the showers. You suck.
Your podcast stinks. Imagine Patty telling you that.
I quit.
I'll try harder.
I feel like with Chad, you can't even ascribe his comedy or whatever to perseverance. I think he's just like, I don't know what else to do. Like,
yes,
he thinks he's funny,
right?
But on some level, he has to know Like he has to know. Like when 7 people are showing up, half of them are there to record shit for WATP.
Well, Chad's biggest brag is who he opens for. And I think it was Bob Levy or someone I was watching recently. And I was hanging out with Bob last weekend, and it was pretty funny because he was getting texts from Chad telling him to die and shit. It was insane.
That was amazing.
But yeah, they had a weird falling out because he was at DabbleCon. And DabbleCon's not even about you, Chad. He got so upset about it.
Yeah.
I don't know if he wanted it to be about him or I don't know what the problem was, but he was just so upset. We'll talk more about him trying to sabotage DabbleCon in a second. But I think it was Bob Levy who goes, dude, you're bragging about who you opened for? That's so pathetic. Who brags about who they opened for? I mean, unless you're stuttering John's band, then that's his brag.
Yeah. And his second biggest brag is what he used to do.
You're right. Yeah, I used to be on the radio.
Yeah.
Afternoon slot, Cleveland, third mic. Like, that was 13 years ago, Chad.
He has to delude himself. Otherwise, he's admitting I'm in the same company as Stuttering John, and nobody wants to be in
There's
that company.
so many parallels. And nobody brings up who's the next Stuttering John more than Chad Zumock. If I was advising him, I'd be like, stop even bringing him up. This is why people are caring you.
That's
you
not
idiots.
deflecting. You're reflecting.
Yes, correct. All right, so now Chad continues to get lost, and he's like, oh, I'm getting all lost. He's looking through all his papers. They're not in the right
He's
order.
mopping his brow with them.
You can be sure to check out his 25 sets while you're at it. I'm lost. I couldn't afford to have people pay for my jokes, so I had to write them myself.
It shows.
Yeah. That wasn't even a Patty clip. I just remembered how funny that was. Aaron Berg yells out, it shows.
Oh, that was him? All right.
Yeah, which is great because Aaron Berg's just crushing him throughout this set. So then, right after that, Chad gets lost again.
I'm lost.
Go back to where before you started comedy.
The funniest line of the entire set, Aaron Berg. Go back to where before you started comedy. Brilliant.
Kevin literally stood up and he put on his glasses and is now standing next to Chad, helping him sort through his papers like a nerd that just got his books pushed out of his arms in the middle of fucking class.
I'm not a nerd. I was cool.
It's amazing. I was the one pushing those books.
Yeah, right.
I'm not going to help him organize. Kevin, get over here. They're not numbered. So then Chad finally almost gets a joke out, but can't. And Patrick pounces.
Kevin used to be a writer on SNL, but he never used SNL as a launching pad. Let's just hope he's using the George Washington Bridge as his new launching pad.
Fuck! Can't even say the words, dude. Can't even say the words. That is bizarre. It's like, it's written in front of you. Slow down, take a breath, and read it. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be good when it comes out anyways, so just read it, dude. Don't try to put any kind of special inflection on it, because you don't have one. Just read the fucking joke. George Washington watching Pat.
Martin scoring off me. That is it.
We both had the same thoughts on that drop right there.
That's getting scary.
Holy shit.
Oh, my God.
I mean, the only thing I can think of for Chad is...
And the show has reached a new low.
I mean, I'm playing Patrick Michael clips not to goof on that, but to agree with every single thing he's saying in this show.
Yes.
This is the first.
Also, when you botch on stage, don't go, fuck.
Right.
Like, we play in bands, we make mistakes all the time.
Yeah, you got to pretend like you did it on purpose.
Yeah, you do it another time.
Right, exactly.
It's called jazz.
Like I've been,
Go ahead, Bryan.
Oh, no, I was going to say, like, I've been in the public eye for a bit now, and I have been in many situations where people are laughing at me, but it's always, I feel like it's always because of something that I've done, and, like, we're all a part of it.
Yeah.
I don't think I could stand up there as Chad Zumock, fuck up a joke, say fuck, and everyone's dying laughing at my incompetence.
Yeah. I would get off the
Like,
stage.
just a different fucking beast.
I would get off the stage, be like, today's not my day. Honestly, I'm just speculating. I'm not accusing anyone. I would think that maybe Chad was overserved this night. He seems to be a little bit out of
Or under.
Maybe he was underserved. Yeah. Maybe that's the problem. I have, and it's funny too, Brian, that you say that, because there's a few times when Chad goes, all right, I'm going to make this better. I'm going to make a comeback here, guys. Stay with me. And it's like, it's not going to happen.
Winds up.
Yeah, here we go. Kevin Brennan, I bet you jumped off a damn it. So this is my last clip. This is fucking great. Another brilliant observation on Patty's part.
Another thing that I did notice as I watched this is Chad is cursing a lot, right? I bet he considers himself to be an edgy comedian, you know, because he says fuck and cunt. I bet he thinks this. That's the mindset. But to continue to stumble is gut-wrenching, man. It's hard to watch.
It really is. It really is a bad set for one Chad Zumock. It's a rough one.
I got Chad's opener here.
I said, are you ready to laugh?
Quiet, you awful man.